Media today has influenced the upcoming of artists, but has also played an important role in the afterthought of artists after they became known in their respective genres. Throughout this video, we will talk about how media and entertainment has shaped the music industry today. We will talk about the evolution of media platforms, the capabilities each contains, and how each platform enables artists to entertain and connect with fans. We will also talk about how artists today aren't always relevant for their talents, but instead stay relevant because of their entertainment value. After that, we conduct interviews asking people of the public about the music industry today, and lastly, talk about one-hit wonders and how media has made them more popular. In the 90s, the best way for artists to make it big was to sign with record labels. Back in the 90s, being found by record labels was very difficult. In order to be found and signed by record labels, artists had to contain certain characteristics like talent, being hardworking, and original. Artists also had to do certain events like working small shows and rap Olympics. Artists that were successful and popular in the 90s were Tupac, Dr. Dre, NWA, Wu-Tang Clan, Snoop Dogg, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, Madonna, and Elton John. Media platforms in the music industry can be both beneficial and detrimental to artists. There have been new media platforms throughout the past 20 years that have impacted artists in many different ways. Some artists gain fame through songs that become huge in the media or simply because of their personality. The evolution of media platforms started back in 2000 with Pandora Radio. It was the first music streaming service of its kind. Pandora was designed to allow you to listen to a playlist that had songs with similar traits to a song you chose or artist you chose, but not specific songs or artists. This benefited artists who may not have been the most well-known artists, but had similarities to the bigger names and became known through the streaming service that wasn't available previously.
The next music platform that came into fruition was iTunes in 2003. iTunes allowed users to buy and download songs with 200,000 tracks available at its first launch. For artists to be eligible to sell their music on iTunes, they needed to be signed by record companies or have some sort of representation. iTunes made music more affordable because the consumers are able to buy single songs rather than having to buy whole CDs, and this officially started the digital music age.
A couple years later, in 2005, YouTube was founded. YouTube allowed fans to not only listen to artists' music easier, but allowed fans to connect and see the entertaining side of artists through interviews, music videos, home videos, and activities during their travels. Examples of artists who got famous off of posting YouTube videos of them singing are big-name artists such as Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran,
Yesterday, you were here with me,
and a couple of others such as Shawn Mendes, Maroon 5, and Pentatonix.
In 2006, Twitter was started and it allowed fans to be a part of an artist's life. Twitter allowed for artists to share their everyday thoughts and activities with their followers. This built better relationships between artists and fans because fans can now feel like as if they are involved in their favorite artist's life, so liking and retweeting their activities or posts allowed for another connection on top of the one formed by YouTube. Instagram started in 2010 and essentially provided fans with the same type of content that Twitter did, except now it was in picture form and it allowed fans to visualize what they're doing instead of just reading about it. Cardi B is an example of an artist that became big from Twitter, because Cardi B was originally a stripper in Vegas, but she was able to gain popularity from that and gained enough followers so that a record label helped her produce the song Bodak Yellow, which later became a hit and blew her up.
Moving on to 2007, SoundCloud was founded. Since starting, SoundCloud has become an extremely convenient and beneficial platform for artists to get their music out to the public. SoundCloud is a free platform for artists to use so that record companies and potential collaborators can find and listen to people's work. As this platform has developed over the years, its main demographic is shifting towards young rappers. Many of these young artists today once started on SoundCloud to later on become mainstream, such as the late XXXTentacion, Lil Uzi Vert, Post Malone, Travis Scott, Lil Pump, Chance the Rapper, and more. A year later, in 2008, was the birth of Spotify, and it was designed as a music streaming platform that was similar to Pandora with its free service. However, Spotify went further and sold subscriptions to allow fans to listen to whatever they wanted, when they wanted, with no limitations so long as they paid a monthly or yearly fee. Similar to iTunes and YouTube, Spotify benefited artists by allowing them to gain revenue without actually selling physical albums. These numbers can be seen by some of the one-hit wonders that have acquired a lot of income from one song that had been streamed a lot in comparison to an artist's other songs. The biggest one-hit wonders that have come out in recent years include songs that people can easily recognize but don't recognize the artist.
Really close. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader.
Cheerleader by OMI made $8 million just from YouTube and Spotify, but his next biggest song, Hula Hoop, only made $1.5 million from the two services. Somebody That I Used to Know by Gadier made $6 million from YouTube and Spotify, while his next biggest song only made $280,000.
Anyway, we need to fetch back the time they have stolen.
Stolen Dance by Milky Chance made the band $4 million from the two services, but their next biggest song only made them $900,000. Most people would be able to remember the song and possibly even some lyrics to these particular songs, but those same people most likely would be unable to identify the artist that made them.
In certain songs, many people are drawn to the music video and entertainment side of the song rather than the actual song itself. This is shown by the statistics that reflect the number of listens on Spotify in the song Gangnam Style by PSY, which got 181 million plays, as compared to the YouTube views of the song, which currently has 3.3 billion plays on YouTube. You can't even understand what the guy is singing about for over half the song, but who cares when he's doing dances like this? The entertaining side of media does not just include legal problems and rappers acting out. In the rap world, beef between artists has been promoted and blown out of proportion. Artists engage in beef with one another to become irrelevant and gain popularity. A non-relevant rapper or an artist that is becoming irrelevant can call out a big-name artist like Drake, for example, and they can do this just by starting random beef with someone who has a larger following. These artists that are becoming less relevant will gain popularity and fans from being involved in beef. This is becoming a more popular trend to do in order to gain more popularity, even if the conflict between artists is fake. Some artists resolve their beef, like Drake and Meek Mill did, and Lil Pump and J. Cole, while other artists' beefs that are actually legit are still going on, like the beef between Trippie Redd and 6ix9ine and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a series of questions about our topic, and our topic is, has music changed over the years because of media? So the first question I'm going to ask you is, do you think the music industry has changed from when we were kids to present day?
Yes, because the influence of social media and kids getting involved in drugs and crime early on.
Okay, and then the next question I have for you is, what platform do you listen to music on?
Spotify Premium.
Okay. What do you think is the most important factor for artists today to be known and to stay relevant?
Get on social media early and keep trying to one-up the person in front of you.
Okay. The next question I have for you is, do you think that the media has made artists easily replaceable in today's society?
Yes, because everyone is trying to become a rapper nowadays.
Okay, and the last question I have for you is, when you hear about artists today on the media platforms, what do you see more? Do you see more of their entertaining side, or do you see more of like their music side?
Definitely focuses on the entertainment side because you hear more about them getting in trouble with the law rather than their music.
Okay, thank you for your time and answering our questions. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions about our topic, and our topic is, has media changed music over the years? And so my first question for you is, do you think the music industry has changed from when we were kids to present day?
Yes, I think so, because of how widely used social media is now as compared to when we were kids. Twitter wasn't really a mainstream thing, and Instagram wasn't really mainstream, and now all of the artists are on things like Twitter and Instagram, and it just boosts their popularity.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And so my second question for you is what platform of music do you listen to?
I use Spotify Premium.
Okay. So my question following that is, what do you think is the most important factor for artists today to become relevant, and then once they are relevant, to like stay relevant?
So I think that it's very important for artists today to find a outlet to get known, whether it's YouTube or whether it's something like SoundCloud. And it's just to stay relevant, they got to be on social media and make the news in some way, whether it's for them getting in trouble, and it just boost their popularity or whether it's for them doing something good.
Okay. So then my next question for you is, do you think artists today are replaceable?
Yes, I think they're very replaceable. I think that you see these artists that have just fallen off, and then just new artists just replace them automatically. You see all these guys like Lil Xan and Lil Pump and everything, and it's just replaceable. Everyone is just
Do you
next man
think
up.
that like multiple media platforms have also made this easier to like for
Yeah,
artists
I
to
mean,
replace?
I think if you go out and you put a video on Twitter of you like rapping or something and everybody thinks it's good, it can blow up, and overnight you're getting signed to a record deal.
So my last question for you is, when you hear about artists today on media platforms, do you hear and see more of their entertaining side, or do you see and hear more about their actual music?
I think it really depends on the artist, but I personally probably see more of like them getting in trouble with the law or stuff like that, like getting in the news for whatever reason, whether it's run-ins with the law or other things of the sort, and it's just, I would say more of the entertaining side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time and answering our questions.
You're welcome.
Do you think the music industry has changed from when we were kids to present day because of media?
Definitely, yeah. Like, you could look at people who I wouldn't consider to be the greatest musically, but they're super well known because of the media. For like example, people like Tekashi, they just use the media and their songs aren't really relevant.
And what platform do you listen to music on?
Spotify Premium.
And what do you think is the most important factor for artists today to become known or to stay relevant?
Probably the media, I would say. Definitely.
And do you think the media has made artists easily replaceable in today's society?
Yeah, because it's just like someone could easily replace how crazy Tekashi is, like how he's always getting into trouble with the law and stuff. It's not really about his music.
And when you hear about artists today on media platforms, do you see more about their entertaining side or hear more about their actual music?
Entertaining. I would say you hear a lot more about what they're doing, like if they're messing up or something, than what their music is.
All right. And thank you for your time. I appreciate you answering these questions.
Yeah, no problem.
As we've shown to you, it's clear to see how media has advanced the popularity of certain artists and blew up careers of others. Media can be a very powerful tool for artists today if they use it appropriately and effectively, and that can be seen with some of the bigger artists today that don't have that much talent but provide entertainment and stay involved in the media to stay popular.